All right, well, this escalated quickly, but that is neither here nor there. That's not what we're going to do right now. I'm waiting on parts for this, and we'll revisit the planter. But I think I finally got all the stuff I need, minus maybe one coupler, to put the Power Beyond on this tractor. So that's what we're going to do right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. Power Beyond hydraulics. This is a topic that people ask about all the time on the internet, and no matter how many times it gets answered, people still don't get it, or they ask again. So I'll try my darndest to explain what's happening here so that we can understand. Now, a lot of tractors, which I didn't realize because I grew up on these, so I didn't know that other tractors didn't have all the features like these do. But that's the case. A lot of the tractors you can't do this to because there's no way to really make it happen. You can on a John Deere, I know, because this is essentially the same type of operation that we performed when we added that steering valve to that 1020. What we're doing with Power Beyond is we are tying in to the tractor's hydraulic pump so that we can use it for some other task. Instead of mounting a separate hydraulic pump somewhere to run, let's say, a loader or whatever, we're going to use the tractor's hydraulics to run our whatever it is. So like in the case of a loader tractor, you would run the power to the separate valve to run your loader so that you didn't have to do it through your remotes. And I'll show you an example of that in a minute before we get started, because I have Power Beyond set up on my loader tractor. But in order to do this, you need several things. For number one, your tractor needs to have a built-in relief valve, or you're going to have to run it to a valve that has a relief valve in it so that bad things don't happen. Because if you don't have that and you have some kind of hydraulic overload, you could start blowing out seals and crack housings and whatever, depending on, you know, what it is and what kind of pressure you're dealing with. But these, with the way that we're going to do it, will use the tractor's hydraulic pump, and then also is protected by the tractor's relief valve. And on a 55 series tractor, as in a 17, 18, 1955, or a 285, 2105 white, and a lot of the newer large frame white, phone rang, sorry, spam call. But basically a lot of the large frame whites and up till the end, the 2255 would also be in this. The 4150, 4180 would be set up the same way as this. The things with this style hydraulic unit and whatever, even the 9650 is set up the same way as this, and we would follow the same procedure. But basically what we got to have is we got to have a way to get pressure to whatever we're doing, and we have to have a way to get return oil to send the oil back so that you don't just empty the reservoir and that's the end of it. On these, like I just mentioned, all those models, they are closed center hydraulics. So this is super simple. Basically what that means is the only time it's using hydraulics is when we are operating whatever it is we're trying to do. So when something's not happening, the oil isn't moving. It's just staying ready at a moment's notice, but it's not going anywhere. On the flip side, your 15, 16, 17, 18, 50 Olivers, all the stuff with the other style hydraulic unit are open center, and they need the oil to be flowing the whole time, or it's going to blow the relief valve on the tractor and you're not going to have nothing. Or it's going to generate a lot of heat if you do. And so these are by far the simplest way to do this on these tractors, because all we got to do, since the oil doesn't have to be flowing all the time, we're going to tap in here to get our pressure, because that is the line going down there. That is the main hydraulic pressure line from the pump, and it comes up here and it feeds the 3-point, and then it comes around and that line feeds the remotes. and the remotes are made to the side of this thing, bolted, and there's passage where the return oil can just go right into the reservoir, because that's what's in here, is the oil. So we'll tap in there and we'll get our pressure, and then we will go in here with a fitting to return our oil. And as previously stated, this tractor is different for whatever reason. It probably didn't come from the factory with the hydraulic temperature thing, because normally this is up under there, and there ain't no fitting up under there to do this to. So it's here in the back, and we're gonna have to deal with that a different way, but this is where our return oil is gonna go. So, super simple. Since the oil doesn't have to move all the time, what I do, and did on the other tractor, and it works great, I just put this little valve in there. And I'll make a little bracket when we're done to help support it. But basically, when I want to run the blower on the planter with the Power Beyond, I'll turn the valve on. It'll send oil up one of the hoses. It'll go into the filter of the blower, and then it will come around to this regulator, and depending on how fast I have it set, it will run this motor at whatever speed, and then the oil, as it leaves, will go through the cooler, and then that will come through the return hose, and it'll come back to the tractor, and it'll go right in here. Problem solved. And when we're on the way to the field and we don't want the blower to run, we just shut that valve off, and the blower stops running, and you've got her made, friends. But if you have a 15, 16, 17, 1850, 1950, 2050, 2150, 1555, 1655, 270 white, all the stuff like that that uses that style hydraulic unit, it is open center. So you can't just shut something off without, that won't work, because then your oil won't have a place to go back, and the tractor's going to be very upset, and I won't like that. So if you want to run this planter on Power Beyond and not use the PTO hydraulic pump, it can be done. But what you got to do, let's see if I can get in here without getting red paint on myself. As we plugged off both of these passages, you will plug this one off up here. This one, you will run another hose, a third hose, to the tractor, and that will be your hose that goes to your return side of your Power Beyond, and the line from the cooler will go to the big bypass port on the floor of the tractor, so that the oil can always go unrestricted back. Let's go look at one of those so you understand what I'm talking about. Here in all its glory is my poor dirty 1650 that needs a good washing, which we can do now. We just have to get the time. But it is set up for Power Beyond, and the Power Beyond that it is running is that valve right there to run my loader, so that the loader is not run through the tractor's remotes. I have both remotes available, so you could do whatever you need to do with remotes. And also another benefit of this setup is it's a little bit quicker response. I really need to run a third hose, I think, or figure out how to do that. I may not be able to do that because of, well, yes, I might be able to, because this is an open center valve. I think I could run a third line from here to the reservoir, and that would let the loader run faster, because right now it's trying to feed all the oil back through. You know what I'm saying. It could dump it all at once. I'm not sure on that. I know when we, like on that other, when we put the thing on the 1020 to convert it to closed center, we had to use that longer plug to block off a passage. So it might work, but basically what has to happen here is, normally there would be pipe plugs in this hole and in this hole. And what you got to do, you take out those pipe plugs. This is your pressure, this is your return. But that's not enough. You have to tell the oil where to go. And so back inside of here, there is another set of threads of a smaller diameter pipe plug than this. And you have to stick a pipe plug, like an Allen headed pipe plug, down in there and block that off. So now the oil can't go from here to here inside. It has to leave and then make the loop and come back here because you blocked this off. And that's where the bad things happen. If people think they're going to just disconnect this real quick and do something, your oil has to be able to get to back here. And if it can't do it because you got this blocked off, that's not good. Your relief valve will blow. You probably won't have any hydraulics, and it'll be screaming and generating heat. So what you can do, if you want to run Power Beyond on a setup where, you know, you're going to be taking it on and off, you put like a male plug on this one and a female plug on this one, and the same way on your valve. And then when you're done, you just couple your two hoses together and it'll run everything, and life is grand. I have an idea of how to do this with that planter. That would be where I wouldn't have to do that, but that will be revealed at the time whenever I get that 1655 back together. If I want to pull this planter with it, I've got an idea where I could make this work with maybe one valve, and I just have to open and close a valve to be able to use the Power Beyond. And I don't know, we'll see. That's something for another day. But down here, under this mud on here, is the zero pressure return port. And that's where you would run your other line on that planter from the blower. If you were running, you would get your pressure from this one. Your cooler, other side of your loop, would go into here. And then your third extra line would go to your regulating valve, and it would go to here. And that way, it should always have oil. Even when if you shut the knob off on the blower of the planter, you should have oil coming back to the tractor through the bypass of that regulator, and then all is not lost in your life. I have regrets about this though. I should have done it differently, and I wasn't thinking. I was thinking shortest way from A to B, and that was not a good thing. And I've been living with it until I felt like the hoses were ready to be replaced. And we're almost there. Not quite, but when they have to be replaced, I will be plumbing this up differently, in the case that I'm going to get longer stuff and run it back here behind the seat somehow so it's not right in my leg. Because if you do a lot of loader work or whatever, those hoses get hot. And your leg is sitting right here, and yeah, I should have got it a little differently. I will probably go JIC style adapters next time, and then I can put on a 90 real quick and then, you know, do whatever I need to do, because you don't have any room. You have to have a straight fitting here to be able to even thread that in at all. So there is that. But that's Power Beyond on one of these style hydraulic units. But that's not what we're doing. So we're gonna go put the Power Beyond on this closed center hydraulic system. Like I said, it should be very simple, and you've seen it working on the 1855 because I've had it on there for years, and that's just how she's gonna go. So I want to start slapping iron on here, so I'm gonna wait to do my modifying. I talked about this a little bit. I like to try to use factory stuff. See, like that coupler, we're gonna have that on. That way stuff looks nice when it's done. This, I'm gonna heat it up and bend it different. I'm gonna bend it exactly the opposite of the way it is, so that it fits. It's a mirror image of that one, see? I think I could probably use it like this, but it's just not the same as when it's exactly the opposite. Plus it's all twisted up anyway, and I have to bend it somewhat, so I might as well make it what I want. I did it on the other one and it worked, and it keeps it out of the way of, a little bit more out of the way of the 3-point arm. So we'll save that till the end maybe, and we will work right now on plumbing. Now I had it already started in the process, and then I realized I screwed up and I forgot to put this needle valve job in. Is this necessary? I don't know, but basically you don't really need the full amount of flow to this planter to make it do it. It just takes a little bit. So I don't know if that's right or not. I did it on the other one to give me another choice of things to do, and I don't know. We're gonna have to see if we have something here that will hold this. Red pliers, well, yeah. I think it's gonna work. I need to, did I tighten this? I don't remember. I tightened the, I tightened it the first time when I had it just on the hose, but I think that's going to work. Now, I have to remember, I thought on that other one, well, I thought I had another 90 in there, but I don't see why a straight one wouldn't work. We might have to table that. I might not be able to do what I want to do. I'll go look at the other one, but I'm pretty sure it has a 90 on it. And I don't know if I want to just, quite honestly, if I could loop it like this, it'd be fine. Let's put this apparatus on, and then we'll go from there. We'll also have to put some pipe thread on this sealant. And this we may need to also figure out how we want to clock it. And I'm telling you right there, that ain't right. So we're gonna have to potentially struggle a little bit, but let's stop with that, because that's probably wrong. I don't know how this is going to go, because I can't hardly get my fatness in here. And I'm probably going to have to climb up somehow so I can get a better pull at it. There. That wasn't too bad. I also think I had to pivot this a little bit on that other one to get it. Oh, friends, you know what's going to be the struggle here? I bet on the other one when I did this, I bet you I put a new hose on it. And this one is old hose. And it's going to make me work for it. Also, another nice thing would have been if a guy didn't have all of the sheet metal on, so he could work. Because right now, it is not pleasant. Oh, wow. Silly me thinking that this would be so simple. Underneath the floorboard of this one, for some dumb reason, there is a clamp, probably because this is a very original tractor, and this line has never been touched. And that clamp is holding that line where I can't maneuver it. So I got to pull this section of the floorboard up, which is not going to be simple, because that means I got to pull the whole floorboard up to get that out of there. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'll be able to just get half and then go. Struggling. Engage. Now, see this one? See how nice and out in the open this one is? Guess where the other one's at? It's behind that wall. So we'll have to try from the back. And I don't remember if you can get a socket in there. I don't think you can. I think you got to get a wrench. And you got to struggle. If somebody smiled on us, they didn't put that back in, but I can tell you right now they did. Oh, the price you pay for not having a cobbled up piece of crap. You see that all the way back there? You see that? I don't know if you do. Do you see that and appreciate how I wish I had put the 3-point arms down before I did this? I guess I can put the line back on and hook it up, and but we're gonna try to struggle anyway. We gotta get, we can't have all these this rope. Come on. I want to see if we can unburden you by what has been. Actually, I wonder if Long John would be better, because it has a lot finer tooth. Not yet. That's not the right combination. There. I refuse to start taking more stuff loose than necessary. I absolutely refuse. I will not do that. Because when we did this on the 1855, that's how sadness started. When we get it together, then we can start it up and put these arms down. We might have to do that anyway, because I don't know. Doesn't look like I'm gonna win this one. Oh, looky, look there. Well, that was about 15 minutes of unnecessary struggle, and we're still not to that. You know, I can't. Yeah, that's right. I still have to take the. I think I have to take the front one loose. I don't know if there's enough. Is there enough here that I can get that slid back? Well, there's enough here that I can throw everything on the ground. There's that. Come on now. All I need is just a little bit. There. How about that? It did let me do that. Oh, what a mess under here. All original tractor now. Tractor that had a cab on it. Tractor that never got washed under this plate. We're gonna scrape down, and there she is. The one we need loose. Of course, the headlight wire is gonna live right on top of it. Now, this being an early one, it should be 3/8. So that's at 9/16. That's what I'm saying. Pretty sure the later tractors had 1/2-inch bolts here. Come on. Oh, nice when you can't get it to go back on there. I don't want to look too close here, because I'm going to find more stuff that needs attention, I bet you. If I do. Let's get this a little more trash free first, before I pull that bolt out and dump a bunch of garbage down in that hole. Even the brake clean has left the chat. All right. Is it loose enough yet? No, I didn't figure it would be. All this. Okay. What if we pry this apart? Okay. What if we struggle constantly How about we get this hooked up first, and then we worry about how or if to get that clamp back where it needs to be. Yeah, I think what I gotta do here is turn that other T slightly downhill to make this go better. And this is where sadness could happen too. Partially because I'm gonna try to cheat. That ain't gonna do it. Dang it. Let's take this off again. We're gonna hope that, well, I don't know what we're gonna hope here. That's gonna be bad if I do that. Mamma mia. Well, how do I want to go about this? It really would be easier to work on it from out in the back. Also, it would be better if you weren't losing your temper like I'm about to do. Because it's always something, you know? It can never just be a simple affair. It's always got to be the most difficult possible. Everything about this is making me angry. I should write a book called that. There. This is actually going to help this line situation because it is under great tension the opposite way. Oh, friends, what to do? If I do this wrong, I'm hosed. Well, I can get the red pliers. Would you do anything here? No. I'm just worried I'm going to end up ruining the threads or breaking something. And I don't want to do that thing. So, what to do, friends? What to do? I could thread on an extra one of these, which I have, and I could use it as the sacrificial lamb here. And I could use it to I don't know. Let me go get something else here. All right, friends. Sometimes people say, oh, it must have went well today. There wasn't very many rooster sounds. Well, there was about 45 minutes of rooster sounds that you aren't going to get to see. Exhibit A of what it took to get that fitting loose. It was not a thrilling time, followed by not being sure whether I could save the threads during that process or not. But I think I did. So now, without further ado, we're back to the point that we were when we started. I ended up having to put it back together so I could let the arms down so we could work. But I think we're on the right path now, see? I think we're on the right path. It's just, I can't believe that that happened. But I think we might have a chance now. I thought worse came to worse. If I destroyed the threads on this, I would just take it out and I'd order one that was a cross. I don't know if I can still get that or not. For a while you could get one that was pipe thread there and then three-way JIC, but part of me thinks that they don't make that anymore because I looked up last time to try to get that. But now I think we'll be able to make this happen, see? Because there's enough room. Yeah. So like I said, here we are back where we should have been about 45 minutes ago. And we might still have to do this all over if it ends up leaking. Now our battle is going to be mosquitoes. I see that large mosquitoes have come back out thanks to our constant rain that we have. They have already apparently hatched and are ready for action. And this is going to make us struggle. And I bet why. I bet the reason why is because we probably slightly disturbed that when we tried to thread it on that piece a minute ago, because it probably got a little messed up. But I think I got it. And again, if the wheels were set out just a little bit wider, this would be a much more pleasant task for an obese gentleman. There, we're getting somewhere. But now we have to hold this. And of course, we probably don't have the right tools. We should. Oh yeah, one of the renditions of things I tried to do was hook a wrench over it, to which I started bending the wrench. So that was great. Let me think here. We want that pretty well sticking out straight, I think. That's how we had it. All right. Now, can we get this one? The trick is to do all this and not have a heart attack from losing your temper. If you can do all that, then you've accomplished something. Yeah, see there I knutsened myself. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. That's not really tight over here. All right, let's stop with that before we do something that we regret. That's pretty close to what we want. That only took us forever. Our next thing is going to be this, which we should have already got that other. This is tight, so it should just be a matter of I need to clock this slightly differently. So in order to make that go, I need to go. Okay, take this off here a minute. Off camera work. Here, we're gonna make this go. Fear not. Let's see what that does for us. We're getting in the neighborhood there of what we want. I think that's gonna work for us, friends. If we can just tighten that. Go back here to the back. On, off. Now we could give it a test because that valve should hold the pressure off, and we'll see if any of the other stuff's leaking. So far. Okay, that was relatively painless. It could have been much worse, but it wasn't a walk in the park. But at least I think we pretty well got her where we need her. it would be nice to put this back in now. And then again, we might just forget that clamp on that line. If that line was brand new, it would make me feel a lot better. And I got news for you. What's probably going to happen, now that I've disturbed it from its original slumber, it's probably going to blow first thing when we're out there. I like how, I mean, like this is not going to work for us at all. Come on. Is there some reason why? It seems like it's going. Come on, get tight. There. Okay, now, like I said, I'm pretty confident on the other one. I had a 90 degree, and I might still need to do that. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I could just not 90 degree it and see how that looks. Let me just temporarily thread it there, and we'll do a test kerfluffle here and see how we like it. See, that's going to be kind of obnoxiously in the platform. I don't know that I like that. See, and then it's going to be like this. I think I really need another 90. I can't believe I forgot that. I thought that was on my list. Is it in my bag? Oh, I'm not as dumb as I thought. I didn't think I was that stupid, but you never know. But that should put us more better. Are you bored yet? Probably, because I'm getting kind of bored myself. But I know what I'm doing, so maybe it's entertaining for people who don't. How much you want to bet? I'm gonna have to take this back off of here to get that in there all the way. Maybe it'll cooperate for us. But I just have a feeling that, yeah, see, before I'm done, I'll have it broke off of the side of the tractor. That's the real joy here. Actually, well, I was gonna say, maybe that would help me, but I don't think it will. I think we might have went too far now, didn't we? Son of a Knudsen. How did I do that? I thought I had her licked. Now, what we're gonna do eventually, just so everybody's clear, is we are going to make us a bracket that goes from up here, curves down and flattens and bolts through these two holes. That way, we don't have any trouble with, you know, this busting or whatever. The weight will be supported by that bracket. It makes it more solid when you want to turn it on and off too. So that's the trick. That will be the next part of this procedure. Now, will this go in there? I think it will. I should have probably done something a little bit better than what I just did, but it would be better if that was down a little bit lower. But now I think that'll be fine. I could go a little more with that, maybe somehow it would help me, but I think where it is now, I can keep it from rubbing the fender or anything else. And there you go. Now you can see better. And we'll get our bracket made. And then all we got to do is that. It's on and off. Yeah. I think it'll be fine. We might tweak it a little bit. We'll see how our bracket turns out, and then we might have to change things. But that hose will lay down in here, and it'll come out about right like that. And then that'll be the pressure side. And then we'll get this one curled around through there to the return side. So yeah, maybe this needs to be a two-parter, because this is a lot of footage here for what it is, but I'll edit it up and see. And if I think this is enough for a video, then I guess we'll see you in the next one. Okay, I can't let the video go without a test run. I got the hoses hooked up. I just don't have all the bracketry. But I think if we, you know, have our wits about us, we can make this happen. All I got to do is get all the stuff hooked up the right way. All right, so this one is going to be our pressure. And again, it will be much easier when the everything is everythinged. Or not. There we go. This coupler's gold because it was in an Agco box still. So it's the last one of those I have. But now if this thing will start again, probably not without the jump pack, just because that's the way it's been. There we go. Let's put our 3-point arms up. Run our blower. And there we have it. It's just that easy. Blower running. We want to shut the blower off. Pull that off. And then that kills it. Sweet! We got Power Beyond hooked up. I don't like that, but that's as good as it can be for now, and I can live with it. When we get that coupler bracket on there, you won't even really pay that much attention to that probably, so that is what it is, but I'm happy. I was starting to wonder whether I'd get it done or not, but we got the beginning stages in the works. So the only thing we got to do now is brackets. That bracket, modify this bracket, get the twist out of it, clean this up and paint it green, and then we're in Fat City, friends. That was the hardest part of the affair right there. We'll then be able to move these over to here. And then when we get our markers, you know, whenever we find said missing marker, we'll be able to use markers. I got new hoses made, or they're coming. They were back ordered. I'll probably go ahead and hook them into there, run them through here, and then have them hooked up just so that they're staying clean and everything is not, you know what I'm saying. But yeah. We're on the road to success here. When our rest of our parts come for this, we can start slapping these back together, and it's gonna it should be pretty quick, really. The most time-consuming thing I did just to make it nice was I took all of these little latches off of here. I'm gonna have to put those all back, and a couple of the screws were broke, so I have to take care of that. But this is by no means an excellent paint job. It's one of those good from far but far from good kind of deals. But I'm happy with it. It breaks my brain to put stuff back together with rust all over it. So we took her down to bare metal, and now we got her good. I might even like pick a spot on the tongue and paint the tongue, and then the front and the back will both be cool looking, and the middle will just be nasty, but whatever. But this is a win. I thought maybe we were going to struggle, there for a little bit, but it decided to play ball with us. And yeah, it's just going to be the fab work now. That's what takes us a while, but I've done it once before, so I should be able to, you know, figure out what I need to do there. So yeah, I suppose we will call this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.